Alright guys, we're here working on this Vulcan 800. Doing this series as a budget build, and I just, maybe someone who's buying their first bike, see if this would be a good first bike for someone. We've done some work on it. I have the exhaust off now because I'm going to clean the exhaust up. I'm probably going to have a different episode on that. So what I'm going to do now is I want to change the antifreeze in this bike. I don't know if it's ever been done. One of the reasons I want to do it is, if you can see right in here, this is the tube you're supposed to be able to see the antifreeze level. Well, you can't see through it because it's all cloudy and nasty, so I'm guessing the whole antifreeze, everything is probably looking like that. So we're going to go ahead and change the coolant in the bike and at least make sure it has new fresh coolant in it. So this is an aluminum system, so you have to use the antifreeze that's safe for aluminum. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the drain plug out, which is right here, and that is a 10 millimeter, and we're going to drain the coolant out of it, and we're going to see how it looks. You might be able to see there. So we're going to just take this drain plug out very carefully. It is a 10 millimeter. I definitely recommend you not do this while any pets are around, because dogs like the smell of antifreeze, and we don't want any animals to die a painful death from antifreeze. So I have my dog comes out here a lot in the garage with me, but today I don't have him out here. And I'm going to make sure I clean everything well. Well, that's funny. I took the one they say is the drain plug out, and absolutely nothing came out. It smells like a little bit of antifreeze, and it's pretty nasty. So what I did now is I removed the bolt up here that holds this front display on. Let's see if we can get it out of the way. I don't know if I can reach the radiator cap from here because it is underneath of the tank. So we're going to see if we can reach the radiator cap without having to take the whole tank off. Might have to take the whole tank off. I hope not. So let's see if we can reach that. All right. The radiator cap sits right here. And as soon as I remove the radiator cap, everything drained out. So that makes me feel a little bit better. The antifreeze actually looks pretty good. So I'm going to try to find something to see if I can siphon all the antifreeze out of the reservoir here, and then we'll fill it back up with new antifreeze. So in the book they say, if your antifreeze looks okay, you can reuse it. This actually looks really good. I may just reuse this antifreeze. I've never really done that before, but I may go ahead and do it. But we'll see. I think I have some antifreeze here for aluminum. This is a budget build, and it's kind of what I'm going for is a budget here. But sometimes you should just go ahead and do it and not skimp. So so let me see if I can get, I think I have a siphon somewhere to siphon the rest out of the reservoir. Alright, so I'm draining the rest of this antifreeze out of the reservoir. I use my Medivac system, and I don't know if you can just see those clumps of junk coming off, but I use my reservoir to build up the suction, and now it's just using it as a siphon and siphoning everything out of the reservoir. And I think I just got all of it out. So the reservoir was pretty nasty, had a lot of nasty stuff in it. So I'm glad I did this and cleaning this whole coolant system out. The antifreeze that came out of the radiator in the block looked really good, super clean. But I guess just the antifreeze in this reservoir doesn't get circulated enough. Or maybe it didn't have to pull it from the overflow, and it looked pretty bad. So I'm going to hit the suction a couple more times in here. use a Medivac or something like that. Don't try to siphon it with your mouth, because antifreeze will kill you. All right, so let's see if I can get some more out of here. Okay, was able to get all the antifreeze out and filled the pan pretty much. So now we're going to get this pan out of the way, put it in a safe container to dispose of. And like I said, be very careful not to get any of this anywhere where a pet can get into it, because it will kill them, and it is a very painful death, apparently, from what I have heard. I did have a friend that's their dog got into some antifreeze. They didn't know that the radiator was leaking in their garage, let their dog out, and the dog went and drank some of it and didn't make it. So make sure you dispose of this in a safe place to prevent that from happening. Okay, here's your drain plug. I put it back in, made sure it was tight. I did not check the torques on it. I didn't think about it till I just snugged it up. But we're going to go ahead and add the new antifreeze to this. There's your overflow jug, but we get out about 3/4 of a gallon. So we're going to fill it back up. I'm going to fill it from the top first and fill that completely up, let it sit for a little bit and drain down, and then we'll put some in the overflow. Okay, what I used first, I used some of this super coolant. I had this here from another project. I put about 2 ounces of this in, and then filled the radiator up. So the radiator is now full. I'm going to now fill up the reservoir, and we're going to it took out a little, probably about 3/4 of a gallon between the reservoir and the radiator. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the reservoir up now, and then we should be good to go. All right, so we got the radiator cap back on and filled, and we have the reservoir filled. I can kind of see a little bit. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera. You can see now through the little clear line. Well, it's supposed to be clear, but I can see through it a little bit now to see that I have antifreeze up to the fill mark. So I'm going to now get back to probably cleaning up the exhaust, getting ready to paint it. So that'll probably be in another video. So thanks for watching this one. This is the budget build that I have. First time biker, if you want to buy your first bike, and tips on what you should do, and to show that you can get a bike for the real cheap and start riding. This is a great beginner bike, and just some of the maintenance that you should do and how much it'll cost you. We'll go over at the end of this series. I'll do a wrap up and show you how much I paid for this bike and how much it's cost me to get it back on the road safe, and everything that you'll have to do to it. And then I'll probably sell this bike when I'm done with it. Might ride it for a little bit, so it might take a little while to get the show what I actually sold it for at the end. So hope you liked it. Hope this helped.